Hello folks, Midwest F-150 here. We are in front of my brother's 2011 Nissan Sentra, and back in November of 2024, we got the P0011 timing to advance code. At the same time, we were experiencing an oil consumption at a rate of 1 quart of oil for every 500 miles traveled. So we ran the Valvoline Restore and Protect, and after a couple thousand miles, the timing chain code went away. After 12,000 miles on Valvoline Restore and Protect, the issue that hasn't gone away is the oil consumption. Now, there are a number of things that I've tried in order to address it, including replacing the PCV valve, the valve cover gasket, the valve cover. I also ran AT205, which is a plasticizer intended to swell up some of the old seals, because I do suspect that valve stem seals are probably the cause of the oil consumption. I don't know if it's the AT205 not being compatible with that particular seal. I used like a bottle and a half of it in the oil crankcase, and unfortunately it didn't really make a difference. Now, this is a slide that summarizes all the different things I've done, and as you can see, we did the compression test, we've done a number of field treatments, among other things. And so over Christmas of 2025, I did a 24-hour piston soak using the Berryman's B12 Chemtool. I let it sit there for some time, and then after that was done, I drained the oil, and then I put in Valvoline Synthetic Blend 5W30, the red bottle. Ran that for about 5 miles with a brand new filter, came back, drained it, cut open the filter, and there was a lot of gunk inside of it. So after we drained that flush oil, I put in Valvoline High Mileage Plus 5W30. It's intended for vehicles with more than 150,000 miles. Now, it's been about 600 miles since we started using it, and in the last update, we were still burning a quart of oil for every 500 miles traveled. The oil level is still good for after just 100 miles since I last filled it, but the one thing that isn't good is the weather. So right now it's warm, and to me, warm is 20 degrees out, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, because the next couple of days it's going to be 0, and then it's going to be -10, so on and so forth. I've calculated that by the time my brother hits that 500 miles, it's still going to be really cold, significantly colder than what it is today. And so I'm rushing the process a little bit and draining that oil, the 5W30, and switching to the Valvoline High Mileage Plus 10W30. So we got that bottle, and in this video, we're going to pull out the oil and then add this 10W30. I'm gonna leave the oil filter on there because it only has 600 miles on it. What I'm gonna do first is start up the engine for you guys. It is cold, so we're gonna warm it up. And then after I do the oil change, we'll start it up again to see what it sounds like. All right, our little pneumatic pump that we use to change the oil on the Audi, we're gonna use this guy. There's a separate hose that'll hook onto this end, and the hose, the other end of the hose will go inside the dipstick. So go ahead and pop this out. Okay, and then pop that right there, and then turn it to lock it. There it is. All right, before I go any further, make sure to subscribe to the channel. My channel is all about car maintenance from the perspective of an everyday guy, myself. It started out as a channel to work on my F-150 and get it to last as long as possible. It's not here with us because it's at the dealership, but you know, if you want to follow me along on my journey, consider subscribing, because you can always unsubscribe if things don't work out. All right, and then also I do want to take a second to acknowledge our members of the channel. We got Nunes Racing, Bart, Becca K4H, Lopez, Cars Are Friends, J Maxi, 20C, Luke and F150, Cesar, Soba, Jace Hopper, Mango Enjoyer, Ty Lowe, and Quick Wrench. Special shout out to Cars Are Friends and Quick Wrench for being prime oil change sponsors of the channel. Really appreciate all the support you guys you know, provide for the channel. We got vacuum. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, we got about 3.75 liters out. So this is the 4 liter mark up here, and then that's the 3.5. So it's about midway. And so that's about 4 quarts. All right, before we jump to adding the oil, I did want to pour it out in this receptacle so you guys can see what the Valvoline High Mileage Plus 5W30 looks like after about 600 miles. Whoa. I wonder if it's picking up from whatever was left over after the Berryman's piston soak and the 5 mile flush round. Wow. 600 miles? Dang. I'm looking at it in person and that is pitch black. Wow. Okay, we'll go ahead and fill up the center now. We removed about 4 quarts of oil. So what I'm going to do is measure out 4 quarts of oil and put that in there. Use our fancy funnel. If you're curious on what this is, it's a SEDY funnel. You can get it off of Amazon for $50, which in my opinion is a bit too much. It used to be cheaper, but I think with more people buying it, they probably increased the price. All right, that valve is closed, so Valvoline Synthetic Blend High Mileage Plus 10W30. So this thing, the hash marks go up to 1.5, so I'm going to do 2 1.5 pours and then 1 quart, and that should take us to 4 quarts. That's 1.5. 10W30. It does take a little bit of time to drain into the engine. Again, if this doesn't work, what I'm going to do is just switch the Sentra back to 5W30 Valvoline Restore and Protect. And then at that point in time, what we'll do is just track the cleaning ability of the Valvoline Restore and Protect, because I'm sure that inside the Sentra, it's still really dirty. Another 1.5 quarts. Open the valve. One more quart. This is my nuclear option. If this doesn't work, then we're just going to live with the oil consumption. Well, I'm going to give the oil a moment, maybe 2 moments for the oil to settle in the pan. And then I'll check the level and then close this out. All right, now that that's had 2 moments to settle into the pan, we're going to go ahead and check the level. Slightly above that upper hole. I'm going to call that good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, put this all back together, and then start the engine so you guys can hear what it sounds like. All right, as I'm pouring this out into our larger storage tank for used oil, really the next thing for the Sentra is just to check in after 500 miles or about halfway and see if there's any improvement in oil consumption. Um, and so, make sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss out. Still a bit surprised by how dark this is, especially after doing that piston soak and doing the 5 mile flush run. I think it just goes to show that there's a lot of stuff that it kicked up but not picked up by the flush round. Well, there you go. Let me know in the comments if you guys think the 10W30 will make a difference. At the end of the day, we've tried a lot of different things, and if this doesn't work, I think I'm nearing the point where I'm just like, hey, we tried everything, and it is what it is. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. On this channel, I'm on a mission to reach 500,000 miles on my 2021 F-150. Along the way, you can expect regular updates, in-depth product reviews, live streams, and more. Subscribe now to stay up to date and be part of the journey.